Hello, everyone. It's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and welcome to the Wasteland Watchlist here on the SPM Crew Podcasting Network. This is my weekly show where my guests and I play a bit of movie roulette and randomly select something from my enormous, obscenely large movie watch list that is 8,000 strong and made up of some of the most random stuff you can think of. And joining me is my friend and fellow crew member. It is Luke.
Hello, I'm back.
Luke is indeed back, and we're here to talk about Legal Eagles. And this film, a New York district attorney works and flirts with his adversary and her kooky artist client, who is on trial for a murder she didn't commit.
Mm.
Which is interesting because the whole going on trial for a murder she didn't commit doesn't happen until like well into the second half of the movie.
Also, I like how they are spoiling that she didn't commit. Like that, even though, throughout the movie, you're kind of doubtful whether she might have. So it's
She's a
weird.
little
Like,
sus. She's suspicious for
yes, she
sure.
definitely acts suspicious. Yes.
I'm like, is this Daryl Hannah from Splash? Or is this Daryl Hannah from Wall Street? Or is this Daryl Hannah from Kill Bill, who's a murderer? So I don't know.
Or is it all of the above? Mm.
She's a mermaid assassin uh,
Yes.
who who sleeps with men with power.
Well, some of it happens in this movie.
Something that does indeed happen in this movie. I guess she's probably most like Wall Street Daryl Hannah.
Yeah.
If you think about it that way. But before we get too much more into the film, I do have some background here. So this film was released June 18th, 1986, almost 4 years to the day before my brother was born.
Hmm.
His birthday
Nice.
is June 19th. Um, Runtime is 116 minutes. So yes, this is pushing a full 2 hour movie here. Budget of $30 million. It made $93.2 million. This
Okay.
is directed by Ivan Reitman, which I knew that from you didn't have to tell me that, and just from the opening credits, I'm like Ghostbusters.
Hmm.
And then the directed by Ivan Reitman pops up. I'm like, it's the same font. It felt
Yep.
exactly like that. Starring Robert Redford, who's
Rest in peace.
getting some, despite the
Mm.
fact that he's. It was funny because Jess walked in while I was watching. She's just like, "Oh, it's young Robert Redford." I'm like, "Well, it's like middle aged
I was
Redford."
like, he's still getting it. Like, yeah.
It's Robert Redford. It's
Yeah.
so funny because he reached his Paul New like when Robert Redford started working with Paul Newman. This is where Paul Newman was middle aged and still getting it, and now Robert Redford reached that point too.
Hmm.
And this is starring Deborah Winger, of probably most famously of Terms of Endearment.
Hmm.
We already talked enough about Daryl Hannah, so you're aware she's in this movie.
Yep.
Um, Brian Dennehy and Terrence Stamp. I do love me some Brian Dennehy, whether
Same.
it's First Blood or uh Tommy Boy as his dad, Big Tom. Here Reitman wanted to explore a world between art and law. So like he had this very specific, like he wanted to look at the conflict between these
Hmm.
very different types of lifestyles, and you get that for sure in this
Hmm.
movie. Oddly enough, this was meant to be a Dustin Hoffman and Bill Murray vehicle. So like the idea would be Dustin
Hmm.
Hoffman would be the more straight-laced district attorney, and Bill Murray would be the like kind of oddball kooky defense
Hmm.
attorney.
Interesting.
Now, how did that change? So apparently Ivan Reitman was having a meeting with Robert Redford about a different film, and Reitman dropped Legal Eagles and mentioned he was working on this film, and Redford's like, no, I want to be part of that. And honestly, Ivan Reitman legitimately thought it would be easier to get Robert Redford to do this movie than Bill Murray at this point. Because
Yep.
like this is Bill Murray hot off of Ghostbusters and stuff like that. So it's like we got Robert Redford interested, let's do it. And it was Robert Redford who wanted to rework the idea to be a Spencer Tracy, Katharine Hepburn
Hmm.
style sophisticated comedy from like the 40s, like was it Woman of the Year? Like I got that kind of vibe. That's what they were going for
You
with
can
him and
tell.
Deborah Winger.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's how that formed. We went
Hmm.
from two two heterosexual lawyers, district attorney and kooky defense attorney, into they're totally gonna bang by the end of this movie, Robert Redford
100%.
and Deborah Winger. But there's some extra banging on the way before we get to that point, because that's the
Yes.
kind of movie this is. Um, did anybody need to know that Robert Redford still gets some in the mid '80s? Because this movie really reminds you that Robert Redford can still
I
get
think
some.
everybody, yes, everybody
Yeah,
needed to know Shane. Yes.
yeah. But not only that, did he not only got some, but he also got $4 million for being in this movie. So
And it's the 1986 money, so,
yeah, that's a lot of money. And it was like almost a sixth of the budget was just his salary, which doesn't surprise me at all.
I mean,
Obviously, he was going to be the highest paid person on this movie. It's Robert Redford in
yeah,
1986.
yeah.
But that's a lot of background. But Luke, what are your general thoughts on Legal Eagles?
So I thought this was fine. Perfectly fine, middle of the road movie, which is insane to say because so this came out between Ghostbusters, as you mentioned,
Yes.
Ivan Reitman did Ghostbusters. This is his immediate follow-up, and then he does Twins. So this is this kind of weird filling between these two in this kind of weird sandwich because like Twins is iconic at this point. Obviously Ghostbusters is well beyond iconic. If you don't have to see Ghostbusters to know, oh, this is Ghostbusters. Like it's like almost a ubiquitous. And then there's Legal Eagles. When you told me, oh yeah, we're doing this for the watches, I was like, what? What is this movie? I have never heard of that movie at all. I'm like, and it's Ivan Reitman. I was like, Ivan Reitman, what? How? And it became so. This is kind of forgotten movie, right? And I'm like, how have I never heard of this? And then I watched the movie, and I'm like, this is why I've never heard of this, because despite all its pedigree behind and in front of camera, despite all the top people being involved, it feels fine. Like there are some jokes that land, there are some jokes that don't. I think I love me some Deborah Winger. I don't think she works in this role. Like, I don't know how you feel about this, Shane, but like, I think like she's trying to be a bit too kooky and it doesn't. I don't know if she sells it.
It
Like Daryl Hannah is that kind of, hey, damsel in distress, but maybe
Femme
dangerous.
Fatale, maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe dangerous. I might fuck you, but I might also like, shoot you after. You never know. You just need to, take a chance. And it's Daryl Hannah in 1986. So yes, like any man would take the chance. Okay, fine. But like the movie overall was like perfectly, like it's not a bad movie, but it's perfectly fine. What did you think, Shane?
So this is one of those types of films where I feel like it balances out somewhere in the middle, like you said.
Hmm.
Because like there's things that really work about this movie, and there's things that really do not work about this movie. And
Hmm.
there's a lot of big swings.
Yeah.
Because like one, tonally, because like, is this trying to be a screwball comedy of
Yes.
like that Spencer Tracy, Katherine Hepburn era? Because like there's a whole entire montage. Because like, spoiler alert, um, you know, Robert Redford his character gets suspended, fired
Hmm. Yeah.
for being a district attorney because he winds up sleeping with, which also, to be fair,
Yeah.
he wasn't on trial anymore.
No. She wasn't, yeah, so she wasn't
So
his client,
so it
Yadara
wasn't
Hana.
like he slept with somebody actively being prosecuted by him.
Correct. Correct. It
It
was
just
just the
so happened
political
that she was
lens.
a couple of days before. So like,
Yes.
still doesn't look great. But to be fair, he wasn't actively sleeping with somebody who's in an active case that he was working on. So, but tabloids and run with it. It's like that one guy who's just like, "Is it true that she's already carrying your child?" I'm like, "My God."
Because
Like,
let's not forget, this is the one of the plot lines is he is the next district attorney, right? He's supposed to be like because he's now we meet him and he's assistant district attorney,
yep,
and he is the next in line once this old guy retires. So this is one of the
yep.
many plot
Stephen
lines.
Hill's character. Yep.
Yes, yes. One of the many plot lines is, hey, young guy, which like 40 something year old Robert Redford, you will take over. So this is only political. This is only political, right? And it's just, did we need that?
That's the thing. There's too many plot threads in this
That,
movie
yeah,
for its
yes.
own good. And like he has this, I think you have the DA stuff, but then you have his daughter stuff, and you have
Mm-hmm.
his ex-wife stuff,
Yeah,
and all of these things that it's trying to balance,
yeah.
while also dealing with a multi-layered actual plot
Like murder.
that's in front of yeah. So like there's too many things going on, and not enough of it gets enough investment to be meaningful. Probably, honestly, probably the district attorney thing is the most relevant to the movie
Yes.
directly. And I think it's fine for him to have like his daughter character who's in his life who grounds him. And he's cute. She's a cute kid. So
Yes.
I did enjoy her presence in the movie. Deborah Winger, like, they tried really hard to sell these two characters and her being really kooky in this one really elongated sequence towards the beginning of the movie. I don't know if this scene stuck out to you, Luke, but like they keep cutting back and forth between the two of them one night, and she's just like endlessly eating.
Yeah.
And she falls out of bed and slams on the floor, and all of these things. I'm like, this scene's been going on for like minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
was this like I feel like they could have cut this scene down and, you know, probably all they needed to do is her holding a hot dog in bed. Just a
Mm-hmm.
hot dog with her hand and putting like mustard on it.
Yeah.
Oh, like they were trying real hard. It's like, hey, look
Look
how
how different they
kooky.
are. Look how
Yeah,
different they are. Like he cannot fall asleep, so he tap dances because that's his quirk.
yeah,
And look,
yeah.
she just eats. She eats a lot. Okay, she is so kooky. Like guys, she is so quirky. Like she's not like the other girls. Okay, she is very quirky. And I think like look,
And
as I
Deborah
mentioned
Winger,
before,
I don't think is very kooky.
and that's the
Like,
thing, right? I don't think that's a character. Well, not her character. Sorry, I don't think that's her strength. Like Debra Winger, like I think she's a great actress. From all the things I've seen her in,
yep.
I think she's great. I don't think this role was necessarily for her. I can imagine, like I don't know, in '86, you know, I was like in '86, I don't know who I would imagine, and then it immediately popped into my mind, Goldie Hawn, Goldie fucking Hawn, like I feel like obviously the tone would be a bit different, but I like she
Yeah.
could sell being like, hey, I'm kind of
Her
all over the
presence
place.
in this specific movie would make
Yes,
the tone even worse divine because
but she could
um
sell the kookiness because like
yeah,
she couldn't be like downward like, hey, you can tell she's responsible and or good at her job. Like because we need that scene that she's not just a
yeah.
crazy lady, she's actually good at her job. But at the same time, in her personal life, total fucking nightmare, total like all over the place. Yeah, Goldie Hawn can kind of sell it.
You know what'd be interesting? Like
Hmm.
like Carrie Fisher, I think would be
Hmm.
interesting. Here's the thing.
Yes.
I think Deborah Winger fits the Katharine Hepburn
Hmm.
type. But the thing is, they go beyond that. They try really hard to make like she could I buy her being driven. I buy
Hmm.
her being resourceful and a risk taker. Those
Yeah.
elements I get. I
Yeah.
didn't need that whole entire like ridiculously elongated sequence trying to set her up as like, look how kooky and quirky she is. And I do legitimately think that they have good chemistry.
Hmm.
Honestly, I think any woman, any straight woman would have chemistry with Robert Redford. Because like damn, that man had charisma.
Yes.
And he is so good in this. He sells it. And then
Hmm.
Daryl Hannah is alluring, seductive. He she was it in the 80s. If you needed
Hmm.
somebody tall, tan, blonde, and she just had that presence. Like, I don't know. Well, actually, to be fair, I think she's incredible in Kill Bill. So I think she does have some interesting range that I don't think her career really allowed her
Hmm.
to explore a whole lot. But I think she works perfectly well for this character, who is also a giant question mark.
Yes, like I
Because
think.
there's
No, sorry, on you go.
you go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, I think Daryl Hannah does the best she could with what she's been given. Like she is like, as you like I you put it more succinctly than I could. She is the like femme fatale in this movie. Like,
Yeah.
she is sexy. You can tell she kind of may be dangerous. The art project she does for Robert
Yeah.
Redford with like flame, this goes in a flame, this goes in a flame. Given her past, I'm like, damn, that's pretty dark. Okay, this is some
It was
fucked up
dark
shit.
and it was hot.
Yeah,
It's
I was
just
gonna
like,
both. Yeah.
yeah, and I'm just sitting there like, wow, this scene like this scene's like selling
Hmm.
something hard here.
Like
Like,
she's both figuratively and like literally hot. Like,
yeah,
just yeah.
it's her character's so frustrating
Hmm.
because like, and this is where the film, like the writing started to really frustrate me. She's literally everywhere somebody dies, but she didn't do like,
Yeah.
well, she didn't do any of them. And
I
you're
didn't do
just
it.
like, I'm like, come on.
Mm.
At this point, it got too far fetched for me
Yeah.
after a while. Like, I was in it for a while because I'm like, this is really intriguing. And like, it has escalation moments where it's just like the guy creeping and watching, and Robert
Hmm.
Redford confronts him, pulls out an automatic weapon, and just shooting him on the street. And I'm like, nobody's doing anything about this. Like,
No.
assistant district attorney almost just got shot by an assault weapon on the streets in New York City.
I was gonna say,
No
but
follow up?
Shane, it's New York in 80s though. So like this is common occurrence, okay? Like
Come
another
on,
day.
Luke. This isn't the
I
70s
know,
New
I
York
know.
City. Like, this has to be marginally better, right? This is Reaganomics era. Like,
Oh, that's true.
everybody was in prosperity and doing great.
Yes. The trickle
But
down
like,
economics. Okay, it works.
well, and from the opening scene, this film builds tension and suspense and
Mhm.
intrigue. And I'm like, okay, this is going to be a thriller, right? Wrong. Or is it? I don't know. And that's the biggest issue with this movie. It has no idea what type of
Yes.
tone it wants to keep or what kind of, like, I appreciate genre mixing, but you
Hmm.
have to have the right tone. Like, not to bring up my favorite directors, but like the Coen brothers to make
Hmm.
anything funny and also dark.
And
That's what
these
they
would
do.
be these actually mentioning that these would be the perfect directors for this movie. Because like I was gonna bring it up, so like we mentioned Deborah Winger, or I mentioned that like how it
Yeah.
didn't really fit, work for me. But I don't really blame her. I would say, as much as it pains me because I love this guy, I don't think Ivan Reitman was the best choice for him for this movie. Or I think he tried something. He was swinging for the fences because he's like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, let me
He
combine
swung.
five different plot lines or how many and different tones. As much as I love the guy, also rest in peace because he passed away
Yeah.
several years ago. Uh, I don't think of him being the master of genre bending and tonal blending. No, other directors know it and do it well, like Coen's. I think Coen's in '86, fucking forget about it. That would be perfect for this kind of movie, right?
Which is very interesting because this would have been like their second movie.
Yes,
Um,
yes. It would be
which
just
is
before like
interesting.
Raising Arizona. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
just so like that manic energy. That would be like imagine
Well,
like.
so a film that I don't think gets enough credit by
Mhm.
anybody except for probably me because I absolutely love it is Intolerable Cruelty.
I still haven't seen it.
And that has a tone that I think would
Hmm.
fit perfectly for this because I feel like that if you're gonna go screwball comedy with this, you have to go quirky and weird with everything.
Yeah.
And it doesn't do that.
No.
It shifts to serious thriller moments where it's just like I love the charming moment where they like trick the people into giving them the files. Like that
Hmm.
whole
Yeah.
sequence with Deborah Winger and Robert Redford teaming up.
It was
That's
funny.
where their magic works together
Yes.
perfectly. But it's the wrong movie and it just doesn't mesh well. And then like I almost lost it when they had young Terrence Stamp at the beginning of the movie with that wig
Hmm.
because he's the one who saves Daryl Hannah's younger version of his character from the fire that her dad dies in. That totally wasn't an accident.
Yes,
Like,
totally.
totally was not. And like Terrence Stamp's wig was then obviously it passes like 20 years and then it's like normal age Terrence Stamp, which I love Terrence Stamp. Rest in peace, another actor who
Hmm.
passed away in 2025. I think he's perfect for like if you need somebody to be dropped in and automatically look suspicious and
Yeah,
steely,
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
you know who you're getting here. And like besides like Tommy Boy, you know exactly what kind of thing you're getting out of Brian Dennehy too. So
Yeah.
like I legitimately bought into him initially as a cop because
Hmm.
I could totally see him being like a New York detective.
And we know him
Um
from First Blood, where he literally was a cop. So I was like,
yeah.
oh, hey, he's another cop character. Cool.
How far into the movie did it take you to realize it was probably him?
Like, look, there was like I didn't realize it was him, but I like there was something suspicion from the very first scene. I was like, oh, so he just this cop just gives her these files. Where did he get them from? I was like,
Well, and he got really weird when she looped in
yeah.
Robert Redford, and I'm like, suspicious. But I don't know exactly where it would go yet.
But the problem is here, right? And we touched on this many times now. So many fucking threats in this movie where by the
Yep.
time he's announced or it gets revealed, oh, hey, I'm the bad guy. I'm like, oh, he's in this movie. Of course, I totally fucking forgot because
It's using
we had
two
the
scenes.
ex-wife. Yes, we have the ex-wife that has like two scenes that are so needless. Like again, leave the daughter. Fine, great. We don't need an ex-wife that like, hey, I have a subpoena because like, I don't think what are you doing for our daughter? I'm like, did we need like did we
No.
need this scene? And
The
this is
answer is no. You did not
yes.
need that scene.
And like as you said, introducing this movie, this is almost 2 hours. So what I'm thinking or what I'm trying to say is I think there's a great movie, like genuinely great movie hidden in a plain sight if it was about maybe 20 minutes shorter, maybe 15, 20 minutes shorter, cut one or two plot lines and like, focus like do you want to be a comedy? Do you want to be because like he does this is what Ivan Reitman does well. Comedy with a hint of something else. Like Ghostbuster is not just a comedy, it's also a
No,
great
it's
movie.
sci-fi and
Yeah.
horror
Yes,
injected into it, and it really
but
works.
it's preliminary comedy. Like
Yep.
and I think this is my ultimate point is like I think Ivan Reitman works well, or his movies work well when it's ultimately one thing, and then he sprinkles like bit of horror, bit of sci-fi, bit of this, that, bit of here, that. He is trying to sprinkle way too much shit into the soup, where
Yep.
ultimately the soup it tastes like everything at once, and sometimes it hits, and sometimes it misses. So I think this one misses more than it hits. But you know what's fascinating? I thought you were gonna bring it up when you were introducing this movie. So this, you brought up the budget. It's like 30 million, right? 1986.
Yeah.
Did you hear or did you read this? This was the most expensive movie of that year. This was the largest budget of the entire 1986 in Hollywood. Just sit with that for a moment.
I'm bringing up my list of like I have a list for every year of movies and
Hmm.
ranked what I watch. I'm bringing up my 1986. Let's see. Wait a minute.
IMDb, at least, like,
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. This had a
tell me.
bigger budget than Aliens.
Apparently so. I don't understand it how.
I need to look this. Wait a minute. I need to look up what the budget of
Maybe the
Aliens
IMDb
is.
trivia is wrong, but I've read that on IMDb, it's one of the trivia's is this is the highest budget Hollywood movie of that year.
Because I heard that it might actually be above $30 million.
That would make sense because like they probably did
Luke,
what?
Luke. The budget of Aliens is estimated $18.5 million dollars. I'm done. What are we
All
doing here?
props, all props to okay, okay. I don't want to hear any slander towards James Cameron ever again because that movie does not look 20 million, not even. Holy fuck.
What?
That's
Now,
insane.
I have to check one other movie because if this is like $10 million above Platoon 2 as well, freak out because
Platoon
like
wouldn't be that. Platoon, yeah, no,
it
Platoon wouldn't
probably
be.
wouldn't be. Oh my God, okay, not to go on too much of a soapbox right now. Why did you make Platoon for $6 million?
You know how?
Aliens for $18.5 million, and make this movie for 30.
You know how? Because like used to be like, location shooting wasn't as expensive and CGI was. And to this movie's credit, there were a few scenes where they had to blow up stuff. So I
Well,
guess,
did they really need to blow up
I
that
mean,
whole entire building with the
yep,
most extremely enormous explosion
yes,
I've seen in a movie?
yep. That was a one hell of explosion, I'll say.
I'm like, um, I wish whatever studio made this, I wish I was like one of the producers who's just like, you want to spend how much on what?
On this kind of comedy.
It's like this is a legal comedy thriller, and you want to spend how much on an explosion? Like, who was watching the books here? So yeah, apparently this movie is by almost two times the budget of Aliens.
That is fucking insane, isn't it? It's
And this is the problem with movies today in general.
yes.
Like almost all movies. Like most movies, I'm like, how the hell? Where'd the money go? That's what
Mm-hmm.
I want to know.
Mm-hmm.
I We need to learn, filmmakers, studios specifically, need to learn how to manage budgets better at this point. And this is why everything's so expensive. Because
Mm-hmm.
like how much money does a movie have to make to make up a $180 million budget? A lot of money.
Pretty much half a billion. Yeah.
And this is wild that this movie still made three times its budget.
But even then,
Can you imagine if this was a reasonable budget? Like
mm-hmm.
this movie
Mm-hmm.
should have been like, let's even just say $8 million.
But
Did
even then,
they?
I would almost argue this was probably like, they made it three times the budget. But I still think that was probably a disappointment because I don't have the numbers right now, but Ghostbusters is or was one of the most profitable comedies, right? So I would imagine they only given him this big of a budget because they thought, hey, we'll give him more money, we'll get more money back because obviously that's how it works, right?
Well, I'm gonna confirm. So Ghostbusters made $243 million domestic,
See,
and
yeah.
it made 53 international. That's a tricky thing with ghost
Hmm.
movies. It's like there's certain countries that like don't even allow them and
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like that. It's made $296 million worldwide.
And they wouldn't have given him 30 million in like 1982. That was probably made on like 5 million that movie, if I was guessing, man.
Oh, and that $93 million was worldwide.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
This made 49, about 50 domestic.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oy,
Mm-hmm.
oy, oy.
So like that's what I'm saying. So like I think that's why like this if you look at her Ivan Reitman's filmography after this movie, like yeah, he's made some like
Twins
he's made
made $216 million worldwide.
see like he's made some movies that are now considered classics like Twins, but I still remember when like well, I'm not that old when it came out. Like I wasn't born when Twins came out, but I remember when it was still a joke of a movie. And now it's kind of beloved because of Arnold, because everybody knows Arnold,
Because
everybody loves
everybody
Danny
loves
DeVito.
Arnold and Danny DeVito.
Yes.
So
So
there you go.
now it became this like a beloved, almost like a cult classic, right? But I'm sure when it was not greatly received when it came out. So
Yep.
like I think this is where it started like going slightly downhill for Ivan Reitman, and I think the ultimate lesson here is, look, you need to know who you are. You need to know what you're good at. I'm not saying you cannot experiment, but I like, like maybe don't put 10,000 million plot lines in your movie and then rely, because like ultimately nobody does a bad job. Even Deborah Winger, which again I wasn't a big fan of in this role, I still think she's fine. I
Yeah.
wouldn't say she's terrible. Like Daryl Hannah and obviously Robert, I have massive charisma and probably a dick as well. Redford, great. They are they are both great in this movie. But I like ultimately, despite all the pedigree behind the camera and in front of the camera, it doesn't simply something doesn't translate, and it doesn't have to be almost 2 hours. Like it's not that kind of movie.
Yeah. At the end of the day, this was a missed opportunity.
Hmm.
But it still has its moments and its charm.
Yes, yes.
But Luke, thank you as always for coming on and chatting movies with me.
Anytime, Shane. Thank you so much for having me.
And thank all of you for listening. Make sure to like, comment, and share on this episode. What's I don't even know what to ask. What's your favorite Ivan Reitman movie? Because I was like, what's your favorite screwball comedy? What's your favorite? I don't know. What's your
Hmm.
favorite Ivan Reitman movie? And probably why is it Ghostbusters? Um, Make sure to follow or subscribe wherever you listen to your podcast. The SPM Crew Podcasting Network is ever expanding. We have so many great shows with all different types of content, especially if you love movies. And if you want to join the crew as a guest on like this show in particular or Luke's show Flicks and Chill, please
Please, please.
guests. And or if you have your own idea for a podcast, reach out to us on our website. And if you like our logo, check out High Flyer Creative for all your digital marketing needs. But most importantly, thank you as always for tuning in and supporting the Wasteland Watchlist here on the SPDM Crew Podcasting Network.